Shalom from Keren B'Yavne. Our parsha begins and in fact focuses largely on the census, the counting of the Jewish people. This counting took place b'chad l'chodesh hasheni, b'shana hashenis of leaving Mitzrayim, over a year after Yetzias Mitzrayim. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, alav shalom, raises the question in his Sefer Emes Yaakov, why only now? Why were the Jewish people not counted earlier? Why the division into tribes, with each tribe having its own degel? Why did that take place only now and not when they first left Mitzrayim? So Rabbi Yaakov suggests the following beautiful answer. The idea of having the Jewish people split into tribes with each shevet having its own flag, its own color, its own approach is something which is very beautiful. It's very wonderful for individuals, for groups to express their individuality. But on the other hand, there's a danger. The danger is that instead of having 12 tribes, we might have 12 nations. Each tribe might go in its own way. The way we avoid such a danger is by first having a focal point that unites everybody, that everybody camps around. That focal point is the Mishkan. That focal point is the Torah. When we have the Torah which unites us, then we could have each shevet emphasize its own unique approach in Avodas Hashem, its own unique contribution in approaching the Mishkan, in getting closer to the Torah. The amount of argument and strife that exists within the Jewish people, within the different approaches to Avodas Hashem, is certainly something negative. Is there anything positive about all the argument that takes place within the Jewish people? So Rabbi Kritz once suggested, based on the following mashal, a very beautiful idea. There was once a king that had a great treasure hidden in the middle of the forest. He had some elite force of soldiers, of guards, to protect that treasure. One night, ganavim, robbers, wanted to get to that treasure, and they figured, well, it was a good night to try to steal that treasure, because after all, they heard the guards all yelling at each other. They figured that probably the guards weren't paying attention, weren't doing their job. But nevertheless, the robbers were caught. The head of the robbers, after being caught, he turned to the guards and asked them, how do you manage? I thought you guys were yelling at each other. I thought you guys weren't paying attention. So the guards explained, you misunderstood. Our intention in yelling was to keep each other awake. We were afraid of falling asleep. And that way, by yelling at each other, along similar lines, there are many different groups in Judaism, many different approaches. The arguments that take place prevent each respective group from going too far in their direction, from emphasizing only their ideals and forgetting about other important Torah ideals. They say that the Baal HaTanya, if I'm not mistaken, said if not for the Graz attack on the approach of the Baal HaTanya, then he acknowledged perhaps some Hasidim would have gone too far in their emphasizing certain ideals. So thus, there's some positive aspect in that argument that takes place. But certainly overall, we're meant to seek shalom, seek achdus, seek unity. And with this unity, Bezrat Hashem will be that much better prepared for the Kabbalah Satorah, Vayichan Sham Yisrael, Neged Ahar, Kish Echad, B'Lev Echad. Have a wonderful Shabbos.